So hi, welcome to Good Nights Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with,
Moon and Junior, and we're 4 minutes later.
and we're asking some questions today about their new single, In My Head. I'm going to start. So congrats on that, by the way, guys. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
Thank you, first of all. Thanks for having us on your show. It's awesome to be here, and I personally feel awesome. I'm super proud of it, and it's an exciting song. I love it. I'm our biggest fan, so I think it's a cool song. Moon?
Yeah, I just agree with everything you say. I forget what the question is, so I'm just going to agree with you. Yeah.
Safe way to go.
Yes, the song is very good, and that music video is it's very encapsulating. I guess is a good way to put it. I didn't think this thought through 100% before I started talking. I'm sorry.
So
That's
you
right.
guys...
That was my answer for the last one, but sorry, Glory, go ahead.
Oh no, it's okay. So you guys were actually anonymous until very recently. What made you change that? What made you kind of out yourselves and be like, "Hey, this is actually us"? By the way, what was that vibe?
I think it was just the fact that the world needed to see this beautiful face. To be honest, it was just time. Like it was really cool to be anonymous. It was really cool the way it happened. It wasn't necessarily our intention. I mean, it happened. We rode the wave, and it was just a matter of, it felt a little impersonal to be having fans that are actually super dedicated to us, and it's amazing. And then to not be able to have an actual conversation with them and an honest one, like just even like, because it was fully anonymous, like where we were from and everything, it was like having to censor, like when they'd say, "Oh, what are you doing?" You couldn't say, "Oh, I'm having dinner," because that gives away your time zone. You couldn't say what, like, you couldn't tell them anything. So just getting to know them.
Yeah, we'd be filming music videos and having to watch out to not catch an outlet in one of the shots because that would give away what country we were from, and people had no idea at the time.
Oh my god.
Wow.
So there was like a lot of like little things like that we were kind of worried about, that in order to keep that anonymous factor going.
And they were like detail oriented, the fans. So like they would look for the smallest little things, be like, "Oh, if you stop the video at 13 seconds, it says this word comes up, and it must mean that," like so we had to be careful with literally everything.
Oh my god. So it was almost like a scavenger hunt for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we started, we trended originally. That's kind of how we bursted onto the scene, if you will, on Twitter. And we kind of released this cryptic video. Junior had put some audio in there, and he actually even put some reverse audio in there of him talking. And right away, like the fans kind of picked up on that, and they started reversing the audio in the video and listening to what we said or what Junior was saying.
Yeah, it was bizarre. Like it was something that we didn't expect, right? So to put something out that, like, we were trending on Twitter, and then it was like, okay, well, we need like a video or something. We didn't have our music ready. So it was like, okay, let's just try this thing on an iPad and, record audio and make it sound kind of cool and mysterious. So
Yeah.
we did it. And then like within minutes, it was like, we're on Twitter looking, and it's like, oh my God, someone just reversed it and reposted it. And now people are like figuring out what it actually said. Like we didn't think in a million years anyone would actually figure out that, we were saying everything can change 4 minutes later in reverse. Like, we never thought people would figure out. It was like 2 minutes they figured it out. It was like, oh, there goes that.
Oh my god.
How did you guys trend with like no music out yet?
Because our fans are the best. It's honestly,
We basically put out a tweet originally. This is kind of the first thing we did as a band, which is funny. It wasn't write a song. It was send a tweet out. How 2020 is there, 2018 at the time it was. But we sent out a tweet saying, "Hey, music coming soon." And it was basically we thought, hey, let's see if we can get a little bit of a following to already release music to. We never expected it to just go viral or what. But when we dropped the video, the fans just retweeted it, and it picked up steam. And the fact that no one knew who we were really caught on. So people started guessing a lot of things as to who we were. And they really had no music to go on. So
it's like a snowball effect. It just kept rolling and rolling and getting bigger.
We got a lot
bigger.
of, oh, this is Five Sauce doing Wormstein again, or this is the Jonas Brothers making a comeback.
Oh my god.
Big Time Rush making comeback, which by the way both are doing. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
every band people would guess who it was pretty much got back together. Jonas Brothers and Big Time Rush and One Direction's the
except
next
for
one.
One
So-
Direction.
Oh, fingers crossed. Wait, so you mentioned how like you guys had to make sure you didn't get any outlets in the background because then that would expose the country you're in, or even saying what meal you're eating at the time because then that would share your time zone. How did you manage to keep that up? Because that must have been like exhausting going over footage, just making sure nothing slipped out.
Luckily, our director's pretty awesome, but it was like planning just silly things and like even for our Troubled music video. We shot that in the winter, and where we live, that means a lot of snow. So it was like there was a couple outdoor scenes, and we're like, we got to make sure we don't see a lot of snow because we don't want to give away that it's a cold climate. We don't want to, just and silly things you would never ever in a million years think of. That like you're just so used to being part of your normal day. Different foods we eat, different is we don't think of it as being ethnic in a sense that it's to us it's Canadian. But certain things like if we said to you guys poutine, all dressed chips or poutine, you'd be like, "What are you talking about?" And for us, that's just normal life. So it's like you have to censor everything you do when you're anonymous, and not only to the fans who are on Twitter and who we want to interact with, but our friends. We couldn't tell our friends, so we didn't want to take the chance of our friends and family being the one to proud grandma reposting it or something or sharing it like, hey, look what my grandson's doing or my best friend's doing. So we didn't tell anyone, and to have this big secret when you're going to family barbecues and all this and they're like, oh, you still doing music? You were, oh yeah, kind of,
it's not really taking off though.
Working on something, like just brush it off.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like a complete secret. Like no family members, no friends knew about this.
Yeah, like just our
few inner circle and that was it.
The ones who obviously had to be involved for one reason or another knew, and even to the point where some of the videos, like we would obviously want to do music videos and we couldn't be in them actually we are actually in the Troubled music video. You can't tell we're in it because we just walk by the camera as people walking by.
I'm in Bad
Stop.
Love.
And Moon's in Bad Love. The back of him, we had to shoot some additional shots, and the actor was gone already, so we just threw the costume on him and shot from the back. So little things like that we're like,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So it was things like that. But it was hard. Like the actors in the Bad Love video, they didn't know it was our project. We were on set all day, and we were like up until the shot, until the actual shooting was done, and we were sitting down having dinner, and we're like, all right, we gotta let you guys in on it. Like we can't keep this anymore. It's actually our project. It's our music. We told them we were casting directors, whatever. Like we made up this big story to get them there, and it all worked out. And even the actors didn't even share for them to be involved in a project, their living is acting, and they can't even share it until we said like, hey, this is who we are. So like Sadie, the one girl that was in it, she just shared it, in the beginning of July when we came out with who we were. So
yeah,
good on her for keeping her secret.
Oh yeah.
Oh
so
my god, dude, that's amazing. I'm blown away. All right.
So we've beat that enough. Back to the single. Is there any meaning behind the single name or the cover art?
Well, the cover art, not really. No, the cover art was just kind of fun, colorful. Yeah, but the song itself in my head, there's definitely some meaning behind it for sure. But we don't like to necessarily share all the meanings that we have behind the song, because we like people to have their own meaning for that song. And people who do have that meaning, we don't want to ruin that for them in the sense of what the song may or may not be really about. In my head might be one of those more straightforward ones with the lyrics. Where people have a good sense of dealing with monsters in their head, but as far as those specific monsters, we like to keep that pretty general for the listener to decipher for themselves and what the song means to them.
And it's always so cool to me to hear like someone will say like, "Oh, this song's about this," and I'm like, "Oh, is it? Is it really?" Like, It's not, but it also is, because once we release a song, it's no longer about what we wrote it about. It's about whatever the listener connects with. So yeah, it may be, for us, it may be about one thing, but that doesn't mean that's what the song is about. It's about whatever you can grab onto.
Yeah, 100%. My God. All right. So can you guys tell me a little bit about your writing process for this song?
It was a process. COVID kind of messed a lot up.
Yeah, so it was written October, November.
Right in the thick of it.
In 2020, I guess it would have been. And because of COVID, we actually did the writing sessions over Zoom calls and Skypes with our producers, and they also double as our songwriting team. And so
they're on the other side of the country. So usually we fly out to them and record and work with them. So it was interesting.
Yeah. The first thing we did was we actually hammered out the instrumental parts to the song. When it came time to do the guitar solo, Junior suggested we put in a guitar solo in this song because it kind of had the 80s rock vibes of the Cars and other bands like that. And it was at the same time that Eddie Van Halen had just died. He had passed away that same week that we were recording the instrumental parts. And so we thought it'd be cool to include a little homage to him and a little guitar tapping in there technique, just to pay that. That was kind of our way of paying our respects to a legend and someone who inspired me as a guitarist a lot, to say the least, and even Junior as well. And then the lyrics was a whole other story too.
Yeah, it was so the instrumental was kind of done, recorded. We were happy with it, more than happy with it. And then it was, let's write this song. We knew kind of what the vibe was of the song. We didn't necessarily have the topic nailed down. And our big thing is we have to write from the heart, and we have to write from our experiences. I personally, when I'm writing a song, I'm not one of those storyteller songwriters that can just make up a story and write about it. I got to write about something that I've experienced in my life. It has to be authentic. So I had written a bunch of different lyrics for this song, a bunch of different choruses, a bunch of different verses, and loved them until I hated them. So I'd love it for a day and then hate it, and then love it and then hate it. And so it just got to the point of like, can I not even do this anymore? Like, can I not write? And so that's where the in my head kind of theme came from, was I got in my own head about it and was like, I know I'm better than this. I know I can beat this. Let's write a song. And we wrote it. And luckily our production team is really good at hearing a diamond in the rough, if you will, because it was just kind of like a phone recording of, hey, this is what I think, guys. What do you think of this? Send it. And they were like, yeah, we love it. Let's do it. Let's bang it out. And some we recorded vocals locally, and because we couldn't fly out. Recorded with a great guy, Paul Gigliotti, who's amazing. He's had a music career of his own, and he's amazing to work with, and talented in his own right. And so it just, everything came together, even though it was, different parts of the country working on it. It all came together, I think, pretty seamless.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
So where was your headspace while you guys were writing this track?
I think it was, for myself, it was pretty negative, to be honest. Like, to start, it was just super frustrating because there was the pressure to get the song done, and I usually work very well under pressure, and so for me, it was like so frustrating that I couldn't come up with something. And I'm sure I like to keep things close to the chest until I don't have to. So I'm sure some of the versions that I had would have been amazing. And if I would have sent them, they would have been like, yeah, that's great. But I didn't personally like them. So I'm sure that the ball of paper in my garbage was a mile high of the scrunched up lyrics. Mm-hmm. So it was negative, but then to overcome that and actually kind of turn that into the writing process was a pretty cool experience for myself.
All right.
I like to keep my headspace pretty blank. So
fair enough. Don't feel anything.
Just emptiness. It's the monkey with the symbols. Just that's what goes.
Yeah.
Too real.
God.
Too real.
Makes it easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this track for the first time? Should they listen to it in the dark with headphones on? Should they work out to it? Should they listen to it with friends? What do you guys recommend?
That's a really cool question.
Listen with friends, because then everyone hears it.
Yeah, and then more people hear. No,
Honestly, that I think listen however you normally like to experience music, because it's
So
different
personal.
from music can be so personal. So however as a individual you like to listen to the music, that's how I would say recommend. We always love to do the drive test ourselves. So I mean, usually separate, but we're not against doing it together either. Hopping in the same car and just rolling down the window and blasting the song, and just that's kind of our judgment of if a song's ready to go, or like finished or not, or what it may be lacking, or what it might need. But the drive test, it works for us, and that's what we love to do. But again, every individual is different. So if it's lying at bed at night with your headphones blaring and that's when you love to discover new music, then that's the way you should do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing is just listen to it loud. Like listen,
Yep.
listen to it and really get into it. That's the big thing with this one, I find.
There you go.
Solid.
So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe the single for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less. Both you have to do it.
3 words.
Yes.
4 minutes later.
That's really
That's so
cheap, and we're
cheap.
not going to let that one slide.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's the best way to describe it.
I would say retro modern alien,
Okay.
All
Good.
right.
because we took a lot of retro. You know what? I'm gonna leave it at that because you said 3 words.
Oh man.
Keep people guessing. No, I'll tell you.
Okay.
So it was a lot of retro influences. Like you said, we took a lot of influence from the Cars and things like that. It's got a cool modern sound to it, but like you can't put your finger on it and go, oh, this sounds like a blank song. It doesn't sound like, you can't say, oh, it sounds like The Weeknd, or it sounds like Five Sauce, or it sounds like Harry Styles. It's kind of just pulls a bunch of influences. And so that's kind of why we went with the genres for ourselves as alien pop, because it's alien, it's out there, it's not being done. You can't put us in a box and say, this is, your pop music. No, we're pop, we're rock, we're, as Moon always says, if we want to do a barbershop quartet as our next song, that's what we're going to do. So what about your 3 words?
A 2-guy barbershop quartet.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for bringing up my 3 words again.
Yeah, we didn't forget.
We weren't going to let this slide.
3 words for this track. I'm drawing
6
blank.
hours later.
Yeah, this could take a while.
Come on, off the top of your head. Don't think too hard.
Okay, don't think. I'm going to steal words now from Junior. Retro, I like that one because I
Okay.
feel like it's got that 80s vibe. So retro is 1.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
2,
Mustard.
no, not mustard.
Okay.
I'm going to say electric,
Okay.
retro, electric, and
Think of like
I don't know.
I honestly,
need one more.
If I were to finish
One
your
more.
thing, I would
Yes,
say gold.
finish it.
Like
gold,
like golden.
Gold?
Like when I picture it, like I just think of
gold.
I don't know, like it's gold. It's shiny. It's fun. It's cool. I don't know. That was the first word. As soon as you said retro and electric, I just thought of like a gold chain.
Retro, electric, gold. I like that.
All right.
That's going to be the name of the album now. Retro, electric, gold.
Amazing.
Great album name.
So is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this song to invoke in your listeners?
Wow. Yeah. I for me, just anything. Honestly, like as long as they feel something, I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I ever want my music to make someone feel sad, but at the same time, if they're connecting with it because of the emotion, then hey, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like excitement, some of our kind of back catalog, like My Way for me is like, that's a pump up song. That's like getting ready to go into game 7 of the championship type of thing. But I just think, yeah, excitement and like it makes you, to me, I want people to feel like they want to hit the repeat when it's done. They haven't heard it enough. There's things they're missing or whatever. They're like, oh, I got to hear that again.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the emotion that I want from this one.
That's good.
You hit that on the head. I listened to the song 3 times before we got into this interview
As you should.
because I hadn't taken it all in the first time. and then
we tend to do that with a lot of our tracks, that we'll try to put things in there that are maybe just like tucked away a bit, just so people, you know, even if they don't hit repeat, you know, the next time they listen, like, oh, I didn't notice that before. I didn't notice that harmony or that guitar riff or whatever tucked in there. And I think a song that like leaves you wanting to listen again, to me, that does the trick. So
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, we even discussed that when we listen to some of the mixes we get back. We go, oh, that sounds really cool. Like, let's turn that up louder so we can hear it more. And then we think about it again and like, maybe not. Maybe like that's the reason that person hits repeat again and gives it another lesson to catch that moment again, because it just kind of, it's not maybe at the forefront. It's just,
I love Brandon and Brad for that. Cause like our mixes, it's never like, you know, you see the files and it's never like, oh, mix 2, let's send a mastering. It's like mix 17, mix 23. And it's like, they're always willing just to be like, it'll be like splitting hairs, but it's like, hey, can you turn up that one horn and this 2 decibels and put a reverb on it? And they're like, really? You think you can hear that? And they never give pushback. They're always just like, yeah, we'll try it. Let's see if we like it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's awesome. It gives us a lot of creative freedom.
How do you guys not go crazy being like that zoned in on like specific portions of a track?
I think it's just because we love it.
Yeah.
It's just, it comes from a passion. So, I mean, I definitely feel that way with sometimes, you know, on the business side of things. It's like, oh, if I have to do this just one more time, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the actual music and creative parts, it doesn't even feel like a job. It just feels, it's definitely a passion thing.
Yeah. I look forward, like, I'm patient in the sense that I understand things take time, but the day we finish recording, I'm like, I want this mix now because I can't wait to listen to what you're going to do with it. Like, the day, like, although our engineers and producers are very efficient in the sense they're kind of mixing as they're going, which most don't. So that's the one upside that we have, is when we leave the studio, we can kind of get a general idea of how the song is sounding. A lot of musicians and stuff, they just like, they lay their parts down. They don't hear it for another couple of weeks. And for me, I'd go insane. Like, absolutely go insane. Our first track that we recorded, This Is London, we finished in the studio, and then a day later I left for Africa. So I was in Africa, Moon's, you know, getting up for breakfast, I'm getting ready to go to bed, and it's like, oh, we just got our first mix, and I'm trying to like listen to it through these little headphones, and you know, in Kenya while on safari, and it's like
next to an elephant.
Yeah, like literally sitting next to an elephant, listening to this thing, trying to do my best to focus on it. And that was tough. But it was a cool experience. So
the elephants liked it though.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I was just about to ask, did you show the elephant?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
It's elephant approved.
Okay, good.
So picture this: you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Oh,
well, does coffee count? I run off of coffee.
Yeah, I think
Does
I'd be
that
like,
count?
I'd be a Red Bull. I'm a Red Bull kind of guy.
Okay.
How deep are we in the tour, I guess?
That's a better question.
I mean, you want to just do like the middle of tour.
Yeah,
you know?
you're on a 7-week tour. You're at like week 4.
Yeah.
You're starting to hate each other.
And
there's no Taco Bell, just to confirm, in sight.
No Taco Bell in sight.
No, you're in the middle of nowhere.
I mean, it's hard because whenever you're on tour for that long, you crave like fresh vegetables.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Like actual good quality, like good for your heart food. But at a gas station, I'm probably gonna go with like, I mean, we're both plant-based, so probably, I don't even know. I'd probably go for like a moldy cheese stick.
That's a moldy cheese
That's all they're gonna have at this gas station in the middle of nowhere.
Isn't
Oh my god.
Cheese stick already mold? Isn't cheese mold? Isn't that like a
but
double...
you don't want it to go even further.
Exactly. There's a limit. There's a line.
If they had a veggie dog or something like that, you know, on the roller, just like old and crusty, I'd go for that.
Yeah, this is like middle of Iowa, like the only rest stop in 150 miles.
Yeah.
For some reason, the tour routed through Iowa. I don't know why.
Why would you go there?
Well, when I was on tour with Cherry Pools, there was a lot of noodles in the car. So it was a lot of noodle cups that we'd fill up with hot water. A lot of that going around. but to Junior's point, like it was, if we could stop at a Walmart, because I mean Walmarts are everywhere now too.
Mhm.
And like we would be buying like avocados and like
Mhm.
again like the fruits and the vegetables that we weren't getting because we were just constantly eating fast food on the road. But
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
But I
So
think
you guys are
it'd be
taking detours.
Yeah,
question.
like, to try like detours to try like the local cuisine is something that's cool. Like I think it's especially cool now. Like I'm newer to being like eating vegetarian and stuff like that. So before I'd eat whatever, and now to discover like that there's so much more out there for that than I ever would have imagined. Like I was the guy who was always like, oh, you're just gonna have lettuce for dinner every night. No, like there's so much good vegetarian cuisine out there for us to take a pit stop and try the local watering hole.
Mhm.
So true.
So true. So where do you guys see the band in the next 5 years?
5 years. Hopefully right here on your podcast.
We love that. Yeah.
on the road, and hopefully we have toured the world by then, and Elon Musk has a settlement on Mars to which he has a bar to host bands at that we
Oh, okay.
playing in Mars.
That'd be cool.
And
I think hopefully 5 years from now, we'll have been able to meet as many of our fans as possible across the world, whether that be through playing shows or whatnot. I think, yeah, just being active. Like in 5 years, a lot can change in 5 years. That's kind of the concept of 4 minutes later, is everything changes in the blink of an eye. So I think right now we're kind of nearsighted in the sense that we just want to play live and we want to put out music. And as long as we can still be doing that in 5 years, no matter what capacity it's in, we're happy.
Good answer.
So true. It's very wholesome.
So for the last couple questions, we're actually shift away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So
Boom.
if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
With a drink. Oh my
Drink.
God. Last meal. I feel like mine's really specific. And so mine would be, it's the most random thing. Mine would be Parmesan risotto
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
from a specific place I had in Mexico, of all places.
Oh, okay.
And to drink, oh God, I don't even know if it's my last drink, the coldest beer you can find.
Mhm.
Okay.
any beer, like
No, it's got to be
PBR?
No, not PBR. No way. I don't know. It's like I'm not a craft beer drinker, so I'd say like a cold, like something light, Stella or something.
All right.
Mhm.
I think I'd have to go with a classic, and that's just a grilled cheese sandwich and tomato soup.
That was you on Twitter. I saw your reply.
Yes,
Okay,
that was me.
yeah. So I was like, which one said that? All right. There
Yeah.
you go.
You can't go wrong with the classic, and just a little bit golden on each side of the bread,
Of course.
and yeah, that would just be
I feel
perfect.
like that's a good
And
choice.
Drink wise, I mean,
I feel like you
I,
would say a nice scotch or something.
yeah, I mean, I'm a Scotch drinker, whiskey drinker, so just give me a couple ounces of that neat and throw me in the electric chair. Let's go.
I guess, yeah. that brings us back to the 5 years from now goal. I guess we'll be finding out
An
what
electric chair. All right, so if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Fictional is in like I get to make it up, or fictional is in like it exists in current fiction.
It exists in current fiction.
Yeah.
Like the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the
Make
comics.
On the spot, a whole universe.
Yeah, I mean-
make a whole universe like Chalk Zone or something.
Chalk zone.
No,
What's that
I think
universe?
I would live. I would live in Hogwarts.
Oh, what house are you?
Slytherin.
I'm not a Slytherin.
No, I'm a Slytherin.
He's a Slytherin.
Why are they talking about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely Gryffindor.
Hogwarts is a good one. I was thinking about, Middle Earth there with the hobbits, but
Mhm.
who knows with all those, it seems like a lot of fighting happens there. It doesn't seem like a very safe place.
Yeah,
So,
just a little bit of fighting.
at the risk of repeating what Junior said, I have to go Hogwarts.
Mhm.
All
I
right.
think for me, it's simply because like I was never a big Harry Potter fan growing up, and then going to Hogwarts at Universal was just like, this is a cool place. I'd
Yeah. Did you
Okay.
get a butterbeer while you were there?
Oh, of course, multiple.
Good. Good.
Multiple.
It was like, I'm trying to think. It was October, but it was a hot October, so
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
All right. So I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person you've spoken to have said that it is the most important question.
Your mic died.
Okay, it's back. All right. I hit the wire. I figured
Long
something would happen
suspense.
there.
Dramatic pause. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a good one.
What is your favorite color?
There you go.
Oh man, I feel like I actually don't have one, but judging by my closet, it would be black or red.
Mhm.
It seems to be like my go-to is like red shoes, red shirts all the time. But I don't really have one, to be honest. I like all colors. I think it's pretty cool seeing like rainbows and things like that. Like it just
Cool
to me,
seeing
it's,
colors, huh?
it brings everything together. Like if I don't know, I'd rather look at something like tie-dye or something that shows harmony to me. Like everything kind of
Mhm.
melting together is better than one single like red or black or blue or orange. I don't know.
That's a good
mean,
answer. Yeah.
I think I like blue. Blue brings out my eyes the most. So I do like blue. But if we're talking about like candy colors, red's always the best flavor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
red if we're talking food, blue if we're talking clothing.
Because definitely colors are also flavors, like blue
Mhm.
I
freezy.
mean,
White freezes.
And the red doesn't stain your mouth as much as the blue does. So,
Yeah.
that's the fun part.
well, I don't like walking around with a blue mouth, Glory. Maybe that's something you enjoy, not me personally, though. So, as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Just thank you so much for having us on. Check out In My Head. We have lots of music coming out in the next short while. So, and honestly, if you guys, anyone listening, checks us out, send us a message. We love to chat with people. We love to get to know you.
Yeah, you can find us anywhere online at 4ML Music.
All right.
And
Well,
thank you guys for doing what you guys do. Give
Of
an artist a
course.
platform to speak about what they're passionate about.
Of course.
Of course. Thank you for sitting out with us. It's been 4 minutes later, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.